What are Google Ads Performance Max campaigns? In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the Performance Max campaigns and whether you should actually run them or not for your business. So, what are Performance Max campaigns? So, Performance Max campaigns are campaigns that allow you to advertise across all of Google's ads platforms. So that means search, YouTube, display, Gmail, shopping, etc., all from one single campaign. So you don't need to make multiple campaigns to do it. It just does it all from the one campaign. Now, these campaigns are much more automated than the other types of campaigns, meaning that you have less control and Google does most of the optimizing. And that's a key point here that we're going to go into. So, notable features of Performance Max campaigns. These campaigns run on conversions, so that you have to have conversions set up in order to actually be able to run on these, because that's how they optimize. There's no cost per click and things like that. Now, if you need to set up conversions, go watch my video on setting up conversions with GA4 and Google Tag Manager. I'll put a link up above so you can go watch that video and you'll be able to set it all up there. Now, the second notable feature is bidding targeting can either be conversions or conversions value. There is no more maximized clicks and things like that in these campaign types. It's only on conversions. Now, these campaigns also allow you to have automatically created assets such as text ads and even which URL your ad sends users to on your website based on what Google thinks is going to be the best thing to show to that particular traffic. Now, you can disable that feature, but it is a feature in these campaigns. These campaigns also allow you to set which audiences you want to target, which you can do through other campaigns as well. But in this case, they're particularly useful since you don't have much other option of targeting at all in these campaigns. They also have discovery and remarketing functions. So what that means is discovery is Google will show your ads to people who haven't even searched for your product. And this is obviously not very stereotypically Google, but this is more along the lines of how Facebook ads works, where it targets people based off Google's data and other similar products and services where they think these people may be interested in what you're offering, so it shows your ad to them as well. Now, it also does remarketing, which means it shows your ad to people who have either already engaged with your ads or have been to your website to try and hook them back in and get them to complete a conversion. Now, important things to know about Performance Max campaigns. So these campaigns, if you actually start one in your Google Ads account, it's actually going to take priority over all of your other campaigns if you're running other campaigns alongside it. So don't be surprised if you have a couple of other campaigns, let's say search or shopping, and all of a sudden their performance drops or they just stop getting impressions or clicks once you launch a Performance Max campaign. This is actually what happens, and it's one of the either downsides or upsides depending on what results it gets from running one of these campaigns. Now, because of the way Performance Max works, you need to expect to let it to run for a while before you actually start seeing conversions coming in. Now, the reason why this is because Google will take some time to actually optimize and find the people who are converting well through this campaign. At least that's the theory anyway. So you should expect to at least run it for a month or so before you start seeing any real results. Sometimes it might take more. So it's very, very normal for at the beginning to get next to no results, and then it starts kicking in later over time. That happens a lot. Now, Performance Max will also spend a lot of your budget on brand keywords and returning customers. And this is also very important to note because you need to be aware of this in the data in the account, where it can show you a really good return on ad spend or make it look like you're getting a lot of conversions or the conversion value is low. But the problem is you're paying for customers that you may have otherwise got anyway who are already searching for this, and the Performance Max campaign is going to take the credit for this. So that data in the account can look good, but in reality, your return is actually not good in real life. And so you need to be aware of that point. Now, the benefits of the Performance Max campaign. You typically get lower cost per clicks than search campaigns. Your ads will show to people who would otherwise not know to search for your product or service. Now, that can be positive or negative, again, depending on how you look at it and what you're trying to achieve. It lets you cover all of the different platforms within Google easily. And Google does most of the optimizing for best results. Now, this could be a negative because the results can be questionable. I'm going to go into that. So negatives of Performance Max are that you get far less control over this campaign. Google does almost everything and gives you control over almost nothing. It's not like the search campaigns where you can do negative keywords and things like that. There's very little you can control in these campaigns. The traffic can often be lower quality as well, especially for local and service businesses, where you won't see as high conversions or as good return as you would with, let's say, a search campaign, which is obviously a much higher buying intent audience. Performance Max campaigns typically don't work for a lot of businesses, especially things like service and local businesses. They seem to really struggle with the results of Performance Max campaigns. And the other problem is, which I've already mentioned, is that it spends a lot of your budget on returning customers and branded traffic, which makes it seem like it's performing well, but it actually isn't. And I've heard that it can be as much as 50 to 70% of your budget can be spent on branded and retargeting traffic, which is obviously not ideal if you're trying to acquire new customers. Now, should you use Performance Max? So, my theory on Performance Max is that the way it works caters more to the business types where branding is a bigger deal and they're trying to get their brand out. So for example, if somebody's looking to buy a product, they typically do some research into the product and they need to be exposed to the product a bit before buying. So they need to see reviews on the product, maybe some videos, and just get used to it before they buy it. However, someone who needs a plumber to fix a burst pipe or their hot water's gone out, they just need a plumber now. And so therefore, the nature of the Performance Max campaign, which relies a lot on retargeting and making people used to seeing your ad or your product, is more suitable for the first option, which is most notably e-com stores, which just so happen to be some of the only examples I've ever seen Performance Max actually be successful in. For local and service businesses, Performance Max doesn't tend to work well, and a properly set up search campaign will outperform a Performance Max campaign in almost all cases, in my experience. So, my recommendations would be, for local and service businesses, for now, I would not run Performance Max. Like I said, in my experience, these ads simply do not perform as well as a properly optimized search campaign for these types of businesses. Now, for e-com, if you have a smaller budget, I would start with shopping campaigns first. And the reason why is because they give you a much higher degree of control and tend to work better. Now, if you have a larger budget and you're trying to reach more potential customers and get your brand out there, then I would test out a Performance Max campaign and see how it performs. Now, a couple of final notes on the Performance Max campaign. So one thing to keep in mind is that Google is pushing more and more for these automated campaigns that give you less and less control. This has been a thing that's been happening for years now. For example, with the keywords, how they used to be exact match and now exact match is no longer exact match. It's more like phrase match and even wider than that. And that's just one example. So while these types of campaigns tend to perform worse, we need to prepare for the fact that we might not have any choice in the future because Google is dead set on pushing these types of campaigns. So maybe there will be an option to filter the Performance Max to get ads to show where you want them specifically so that you can run search only, for instance. This is similar to how you can force the responsive search ad to display in the order that you want it to, similar to how the old expanded text ads did. Now, this is just my theory. They may never give that option and we might be stuck having to run Performance Max with no alternative in the future. Who knows? I would be preparing for that option, but for now you can at least still run search ads. Now, another thing you need to be aware of is the growing trend for video content. So video ads are quickly overtaking all other ad types in terms of watch time and in returns as well. So this is something that you should be considering for the future for your business too. So for now, I would personally recommend to just sticking with search ads for local businesses and search and shopping ads for e-com stores, especially if you have a smaller budget, as these will typically get you the best results. If you would like me to coach you on how to run a profitable Google Ads campaign for only $49, go to learndominatemarketing.com. And if you would like us to run a profitable Google Ads campaign for you with guaranteed results, go to dominatemarketing.io and book a call with us there. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next video.